Hi everyone, welcome back to Useful Genetics. This is Module 6, where we're going to talk about the burgeoning field of personal genomics. We'll begin with a discussion of how DNA can be used for identification. Very important as DNA fingerprinting, both legally and in immigration studies. We'll then go on to talk about analysis of single gene tests ordered by physicians, and then a brief detour to one of my favorite sites, HapMap, before we discuss how individuals can use genetic tests that are available to anybody to predict their phenotypes, partly, not completely, from information about their genotypes. We'll talk about how DNA analysis also allows you to infer ancestry and other ethical and amusing, complicated issues. Now, again, we'll have the second of our peer explain assignments. For those of you who didn't do this in Module 4, I'll describe it here. We start with a question that's the kind of thing that could come up in ordinary conversation with someone who doesn't know any genetics. The goal of these assignments is to build your skills at explaining genetics using what you've learned, explaining it to people who haven't taken a genetics course, who don't know genetics. So start with a question, and you'll write an answer to this question aimed at a general public audience. And then your answer will be evaluated by your fellow students, and you will evaluate answers from other students. Finally, you'll evaluate your own assignment. So the first step is to write your explanation, which would be no more than 200 words, and you'll be ready to do this once you've finished Module 6. You then evaluate 3 training submissions that we've prepared, and then submissions from other students. You're required to do 3, but you can do more if you like. They're not very long, so it doesn't take much time. Finally, you reevaluate your own submission, thinking over what you could have done better in the light of what you've learned by looking at other students' work. Total time commitment shouldn't be more than about 2 hours, but bear in mind that you need to complete all the steps, otherwise your grade will be 0. After Module 6, we have a final exam, and I'll give you a little bit of information about the final exam here. It has 25 questions. They'll be like those on the practice problems and the quizzes. You should expect to take about 2.5 hours of work to answer all these questions well, and of course the exam is open book, like all of our questions. You have 24 hours to complete your exam once you start it. That's not 24 hours of time working on the exam, that's total elapsed time from when you started it. Now, coming up next is Lecture 6A, the first of our lectures on DNA fingerprinting. I hope to see you there.